thought I'd just do a little walk around on the S10 today. This is an 89 model. Got the 93 grill and stuff in it. I've got a brand new grill, brand new bumper. This is a hood off LMC truck. Yeah, I know, thanks. Primer's missing, but got a lot to do on the truck here later on. Got some stuff I want to do here before too much longer. I've been having a little problem with the transmission. Alright, so this is a 5.3 out of a 2000 Silverado. Don't pay attention to these solenoids here. That's you know, nothing important. But I've been having little problems. It's got a 4060 back there. The guy was supposed to have rebuilt it. I don't know that he replaced everything. But I've been driving around for a little while, and here lately it's been, when it goes to shift, sometimes it does it and sometimes it don't. It wants to slip in between gears. I checked the fluid a while ago. It looks fine, don't look dirty, but it did look a little high, so I'm gonna let it cool off, and tomorrow I'll come back and check it and just see where it's at. And if it still looks like it's high, I'm going to drain a quart or two out of it and see how it does. And but I just wanted to show you the truck, and you can see my intake. And yeah, I know it's not, you know, recommended for it to be right behind the radiator, but it works. You know, intake temperatures ain't too bad. They're, you know, right around 100 on, you know, like a 90-95 degree day. Because out here in old North Carolina, it gets kind of hot. I got my EVAP block-off plate, custom built with a Bondo card and a conduit holder here. Works great. And fuel regulator, as you probably just seen. Like I said, this is out of a 2000 model truck, so it's got the inline, the fuel pressure regulator on the fuel rail itself. I took and I seen somebody where they'd soldered it, but I had no floats, but I tried it anyway and it didn't work. So I welded it, and I know it don't look good, but every time I tried to weld it, it get a pinhole in it. So I welded it and I tried to grind it off smooth where it looked good, and just be a little tiny pinhole, not real big and nothing, just enough to make it drip. But anyway, I finally got it where it didn't leak, and I just, one of these days I'll get around to buying a actual piece for it. Or maybe I might just change the fuel rail, but I hate to, because I like the return style system, easier on the pump. I don't have power steering yet. This truck was a manual steering box. I changed it, but I haven't got a line made for it for the power steering to hook up. As far as the wiring goes, I wired it up myself, transmission and all, which, I mean, this is the factory harness. I just, you know, put the fuses in it, you know, a custom fuse box. Not really a custom fuse box, but 3 relays. I watched some videos from a guy, or YouTube channel called You Can Do It Too. He was doing one for a Jeep, and I just watched it, you know, several times, and I watched a couple different videos. But everything works great. But back to the fuel pressure regulator. I've got one back here at the back. I am going to change this up later on. I know it don't look good at all like that, but I'm just trying to, you know, make it work. But that's a Holley fuel pressure regulator for EFI system. The only problems I have is that sometimes when you go to crank it, I guess the pressure here, I got a pressure gauge. You can see how the pressure will bleed off. Well, when you go to crank it, it don't really want to crank, but you turn it over, let off the key, crank it back, and it fires right up and you know it's just leaking pressure down over time. Whereas with the factory regulator, it wouldn't do that. It hold the pressure for quite a few days, but it would never do like that. I do have brand new spark plug wires. I even have some wrap stuff to go over them. But you can see where I had to rig those on and cut the boots and stuff. And the only problem I have, every one of them does great except for the back when they're on number 8. It arcs every now and then. But other than that, you know, it really worked, because I was trying to just, you know, be cheap with it and just to get everything running and get all the kinks out of it. But they work great. Those are shorty headers. I got them off Amazon for like $180 for a S10 LS swap. I got motor mounts that were supposed to bolt on, but stuff just wouldn't work bolting them on, so I ended up having to weld them on. They were for an S10. My thought is, seeing how they were for an S10, I'm thinking this truck was a 2.5 originally. I've heard, I don't know, but I've heard that the 4.3 S10s had more clearance with the firewall. So I'm thinking maybe that would have worked. I don't know. This truck, we changed the box here so it don't have air conditioning. But I put an LS1 style water pump on it, and things I've learned that you have to do is you have to get the spacers. You also, on a truck style motor, you have to get an adapter to move the idler pulley. I don't know if you can see that too great. But all in all, I mean, it fits in here. It's pretty tight. That's pretty, but I mean, if I had a card intake or something, it might work even better. I don't know. But I had to do the LS1 style water pump because, you know, the fuel neck, the water neck comes up, and it prevented me from doing like I needed to with the airbox, because obviously I can't fit it through here. So what I want to do is turn and go down and go up under the battery box. Okay, and yeah, I know this is ruggery, but yeah, it works. But the whole reason for changing the fuel pressure regulator is, it's hard to remember because it's been about a month or so since I put it on here. But the fuel pressure seemed like it was holding around about 70 pounds at idle. And I got it with nitrous outlet nice, because you know they recommend, you know, no more than like 58 pounds. So just out of curiosity, I did go to school for electrical engineering, so I do know how solenoids work and stuff. But I was, you know, I didn't know if maybe this had some kind of seals or rings in it. And I asked him, I said, would it hurt for it to be more than 58 pounds? He said, no, it just, you know, throw your fuel off, because it'd be obviously putting more fuel in it. But anyway, I said, well, I'd rather have it right. I've also bought this here dipstick. If you can see it, I think I bought it off Amazon. My only problem is the O-rings. I could get different O-rings, but they fit real loose. And it does read a little bit low, because I've checked it, and it does read a little bit lower than what it's supposed to. But, you know, it works fine. Just 2.5-inch exhaust on the truck. But I got this intake off of a 2005 model truck. I don't really remember, but you know, it doesn't have the EGR. And you know, it's only got one spot here for a bolt for the throttle bracket, because you know the 2004 and up trucks have the electronic throttle body. But that one bolt, it holds it pretty tight there. It works fine. I had to grind, I think this was for the cover, I had to grind it off for the hood clearance. And I think there's something still rubbing on the hood there. But that's why I would kind of like to go with just a little bit shorter intake. I know the truck intakes make a little more torque and stuff. But I mean, everything, it runs great. no problems. That motor had 320 or 330,000 miles on it when I pulled it. Have not touched the motor. I've changed. I mean, obviously I've changed the oil. But looking back on it, if I had to change anything with the wiring, I would probably change how I have it run, because it's kind of run like the factory is on the truck. But this was my first time ever doing an LS swap, and you know, so I was just kind of trying to run it back like it was, make sure everything was, you know, as long as it needed to be, and stuff like that. But this truck originally had a 350 with a turbo 350 in the back, so the firewall was already beat out a little bit, and yeah, so, but there she is. I got a new weather stripping and stuff. I got to change door panels, and just so y'all will know, because you know there's two door panels, because this is a different door off of another truck. But just so y'all do know, I know I got a pin or two in it here. I ain't got, you can tell it ain't screwed down or anything. But if I can put, well, there goes that. All right, you can maybe see that's where the screws are supposed to go through, right through these holes here, I do believe. All right, but if I can get the door panel pulled away a little bit, I don't know if you can see in there. Can't see in there, but anyway, the bracket on the door panel, I mean on the door itself, that goes through this piece I just pulled off on accident. The screws that go where the screws are supposed to go through there, the bracket on the door itself is about that much too low. So apparently there are different, the doors are different on some models. Okay, just so y'all know that, I got a little custom built console. This is not final at all. I got my wideband gauge, my RPM, my tach, and oil pressure and a voltage. I also had a water pump, not a water pump, a water temperature gauge, and I think these are by Hot System. I bought them off Amazon, like $30 a piece for them. Okay, just so you know, I would, if I had it to go back over with, I would never buy those gauges. I don't think it's a wiring problem. You know, fuel gauge still works. But that's your console. I just kind of threw it together, kind of seeing how I wanted it. And yeah, I know there's a gap up there, but that can be fixed, because I'm planning on remaking this console. I was just trying out, you know, how I want my switches and stuff, and about the size and stuff. But all in all, I like it like this. I'll probably go a little bit shorter, but I'm gonna have to move my shifter up just a little bit. I'm gonna put cup holders up here, but I'm gonna carpet it so it looks good. But I'm gonna redo it just a little bit. I got my radio out right now. But yeah, those digital gauges, you know, don't if you're thinking about it, don't do it. I'm gonna try to find me a little different setup for that. But I think I'm just gonna ride with those for the time being, because the future plans for the truck are, I've already got, left a nickel on the ground. I've already got all the bushings for the control arm, body cab bushings, everything. I've got all new bushings. I've got some coating from Eastwood. I'm gonna coat the whole chassis and everything. I just bought an 8.8 the other day. Got all the brackets cut off of it, so I'm gonna do an 8.8 swap. I'm gonna see if I can get these rims here cut and move inwards, because I believe the 8.8 is supposed to be like an inch longer on both sides, because I'm just gonna cut one side of it off and shorten it to equal the length of the other side. But yeah, I've got all new coat for the chassis. Okay, back to it. I'm running out of space. But as I was saying, I'm gonna pull the whole cab off the truck. You know, we've already got the front end. It's not unbolted, but we unbolted to pull motors and stuff. You know, it makes it so much easier in AS10. But I'm gonna pull the cab off, sand everything down, coat the chassis, put all the new bushings back in it. And while I've got the cab and everything off, because I had to lift the cab up to get the motor and transmission to go in together, because that is a very heavy transmission. But while I've got the cab off and everything apart, I'm gonna overhaul the motor. I'm gonna order a set of heads and cam for it. I'll probably go with the stock heads and just get them ported out. So I'm sorry for the wind noise. Hope it ain't too bad. But the 4L60, I'm gonna get it rebuilt and beefed up a little bit. I know they're not made a whole lot of horsepower, but you know, we're gonna try it because I like it. I like the overdrive. I like having where I can go to the computer, change where I want it to shift and how firm I want it to shift. You know, just little stuff. It ain't gonna be no race truck, but I just want it to be kind of, you know, a little rowdy on the street. You know, just play with it, drive it where I want to. I just drove it yesterday, drove it an hour and a half one way and turn around and come back the other way. Run fine. I run about 70, 75 all the way up there. It's got 308 gears in it, but it's a 24-inch tire. Sorry about that, ran out of space again. But like I said, a 24-inch tire. But I was turning about 2,000 to 2,100, running about 70 miles an hour. It's got 308s in it. And it had a 373 gear in it, but like I said, it was a 350 and turbo 350, so at 55 it was turning about 2,700, which is too much because I was driving the truck every day. The new Ford 8.8 has got 373s. I was hoping with a track lock, and I was hoping to find something for 355, but I was settling for 373 because I do have overdrive, and I plan on it being a 28-inch tall tire. I guess that's about it. You know, I'm gonna change the plug wires here soon. I got 90-degree boots on it, so it should clear the headers pretty well. And I got the wrap for them. But tomorrow I'm gonna check the transmission fluid. If it's still high, I'm gonna drain a couple quarts out and make sure that too. I don't know. That's gonna be kind of boring. So. And we'll try it out and see how she does. If it's still messing up, well, I have to figure something out. But transmission fluid isn't dirty. I just don't understand it. I've only been driving the truck for, you know, 6-7 months now. I haven't really. I've just here lately started driving it more and more and more. I've been driving it about every day. But I rawhide it a lot, so maybe that's what it is. I did turn my shift pressures up just a little bit because I don't have a tow haul button. I don't have one hooked up. So I changed the shift pressures. I just bumped them up to as they would be in tow haul mode, and I don't see a reason why that should have hurt it. I really don't. I just, you know, same shift pressure as it would be in tow haul mode, so I don't understand. I wouldn't think that would hurt it, but you know, there's always that chance. But I know too much fluid can do it, but I haven't put no fluid in it in a while, so I don't see why it should be just now, unless it's just now making it mess up. But anyway, I guess we'll see you next time, YouTube. Y'all take care.